If you call yourself a true blue Singaporean, you'll know that you cannot buy and drink alcohol in public after 10:30 p.m. And if you think these liquor control laws kick in because of the Little Indian riot back in 2013, you're actually only half correct. Watch on and you'll realize that there are actually more reasons why Singapore has these liquor control laws. Actually, what is the rule against buying and drinking alcohol? Let's start first with why you can buy alcohol after 10:30 p.m. in some places and yet cannot buy alcohol after 10:30 p.m. in other places. Now, let's be clear. For now, we are talking only about the buying of alcohol, not drinking. That is different, which I will touch on later. Under Section 6 of the Liquor Control, Supply and Consumption Act, businesses cannot supply liquor to you outside of the trading hours specified in their liquor license. And here's where it gets interesting. What exactly these trading hours are depends on the type of liquor license a business has. For example, there are licenses that allow for liquor to be supplied from 6 a.m. until midnight. This is why some restaurants and bars can sell alcohol after 10:30 p.m. as they have these licenses. But most businesses hold the license to allow you to only sell before 10:30 p.m. like supermarkets or 7-Eleven. Basically, that's why you're able to buy alcohol from some places after 10:30 p.m. but it's not able to do so at other places. It all boils down to the kind of liquor license a business has. But here's something interesting. What you might not know is that in certain areas known as liquor control zones in Geylang and Little India, restrictions on the retail sale of takeaway liquor starts even earlier. In these LCZs, the magic timing to remember is not 10:30 p.m. On Saturdays, Sundays, public holidays, and eve of public holidays in these LCZs, retail suppliers of takeaway liquor and beer must stop selling their alcohol from 7 p.m. onwards. Simply put, if you are in Geylang or Little India, just don't think of buying alcohol when the sun is down. Now that you understand the rules on what time you can purchase alcohol, what about the rules on what time you can consume alcohol? Under Section 12 of the Liquor Control, Supply and Consumption Act, you are not allowed to consume liquor at any public place during any prescribed no public drinking period applicable to the place. And if you didn't already know, the no public drinking period is the same as the period which you cannot buy alcohol. But here's the thing, you can feel free to consume alcohol at the privacy of your home, but just don't drink in public from 10:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. If you're wondering what counts as a public place, Section 2 of the Liquor Control, Supply and Consumption Act essentially defines it as a place that the public can freely access. According to SingaporeLegalAdvice.com, this includes void decks and parks, but does not include restaurants or pubs. But what if you are in Geylang or Little India? Well, you have guessed it. There are additional restrictions on the hours you can consume alcohol in public in LCZs as well. On weekends, from 7 a.m. of Saturday to 7 a.m. of the following Monday, you're not allowed to consume alcohol in public in LCZs. And for public holidays, from 7 p.m. to the eve of a public holiday from 7 a.m. of the day after the public holiday, you're not allowed to consume alcohol in public in LCZs as well. Simply put, you cannot drink in public in Little India and Geylang during weekends and public holidays. So seeing anyone drinking in the LCZs is as rare as seeing an influencer who does not do a house tour once she has bought a new house. It's almost impossible. The $1 million question, however, is why do we have these rules in the first place? And to understand that, we have to thank our old friend Mr. S. Iswaran. Yes, our dear former Transport Minister. You see, back in 2015, when Parliament was debating on the Liquor Control, Supply and Consumption Law, then Second Minister for Home Affairs, Mr. S. Iswaran, set out the reasons for the new liquor control measures. And yes, the Little Indian riots back in 2013 was part of the reason, although not the full reason. In case you have forgotten, one of Singapore's worst cases of public violence occurred in 2013 during the Little Indian riots. Around 300 people took part in the riot following a fatal traffic accident in the area, and the riot eventually left 54 responding officers and 8 civilians injured. 29 vehicles were damaged. This is a long story, and if you want to know about it, just comment Blue Cats Do Little Indian video, and if there are over 88 comments, then good for me lah. But what has liquor control got to do with this? You see, a committee of inquiry into the riot found that liquor was a major contributory factor to the nature and escalation of the riot. Following the riot, the Ministry of Home Affairs implemented measures restricting the supply of takeaway liquor and its consumption in public places within a designated zone in Little India. And that's why people think that the riots were where the Liquor Control Act found its origins. But that's only half correct. Even before the 2013 Little Indian riots, there were already many other smaller riots occurring in Singapore which were linked to the consumption of liquor. And these were a significant part of the reason why we have our liquor control laws as well. In 2014, 1 year before the Liquor Control Act was passed, there were 47 cases of riots which were linked to the consumption of liquor. In the same year, there were also about 100 cases of and 115 cases of serious hurt linked to alcohol consumption. And guess what? 9 out of 10 of these cases occurred after 10:30 p.m. So that explains a lot about why we have our liquor control laws and why they are the way they are. Aside from that, our liquor control laws are in part due to residents' concerns about people gathering and consuming drinking liquor in public areas in the heartlands as well. According to Iswang Rang, these individuals would often disrupt the peace and leave a trail of broken bottles and other litter. Sometimes, the drinking led to fights and disorderly conduct, compounding the sense of insecurity. These problems were escalated by the easy availability of takeaway liquors from nearby retail shops. To tackle these liquor-related issues, the Ministry of Home Affairs conducted public consultations in 2013 and 2014 and eventually came up with the liquor control measures we currently have. So yes, in case you think the Little Indian riots caused you to run to the cashier at 10:27 PM in NTUC FairPrice because of a party that you have at home later, just remember this. Little to Little India has to do with this. It could also be the abe who likes to drink and then disturb the HDB cats and void there. Now, if the information in this video is new to you, here's something you likely will think is new as well. Chewing gum is actually not banned in Singapore. Watch this and you will understand. Also, please follow me on Instagram, I'm very poor thing and no followers one, and I'll be posting short videos there as well. Link in description. And thank you for spending almost 6 minutes with me. I really appreciate it and hope you learned something.